All right, welcome everyone to episode number 6 of the English to Takeaway podcast. My name is Jordan. I am, of course, an English teacher, and you may know me on social media through English Lingo or English Lingo with Jordan. And I have my wonderful co host with me.
Oh, it's very kind of you, Jordan. Hi, everyone. So I'm Richard, also known as the Grammar Goat across social media. And like Jordan, I'm also an English teacher. Jordan, it's great to see you. I know it's very late where you are in the Philippines at the moment. Tell us what time it is with you.
It is nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. So, yes, everyone is fast asleep, and I am the only one awake doing this. So, actually, it's perfect timing because it's quite quiet and I don't have to worry about other distracting noises, which is good.
I think you're incredible, Jordan. I know for a fact that I could not do that. I couldn't stay up until 1:30. I'd be so tired.
Yeah.
Um, uh, amazing effort. I mean, for me, it's only early evening where I am in the UK. So I think it's incredible that you've stayed up so late to record the pod today. Well done.
No problem. But I also notice a difference with yourself. You're not wearing short sleeve today. You're wearing a bit more clobber than usual.
Oh, nice word, clobber. It's quite cold now in the UK. Actually, the temperature has dropped,
Is it
and it's
really?
quite cold. Yeah, so the winter wardrobe has come out now, and yeah, I think it's only going to get colder. Actually,
Actually, that's an interesting point to make of talking about like the weather and the climate in the UK because a lot of countries don't have this, but in England we have the changing of the times, right? In the Philippines, of course, Asia doesn't really have that. Does it mess your schedule up? Does it mess with your head when you've got to change the times? Like, how do you feel about it?
yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, nowadays with technology, your phone just changes automatically. But
Yes.
what always gets me is when I get in the car and I obviously forget to change the time in the car, and then I
Right.
have a panic that, oh no, I'm late. I'm late going somewhere, or I'm too early going somewhere, depending on
Yeah.
whether the clocks have gone back or gone forward. So
Right.
it can mess with you a little bit, and it's a bit annoying, but
Yeah.
an hour, to be honest, it doesn't make much difference, I don't think.
Fair enough. But the daytime now is much shorter, right? Like when does it get dark?
Yeah, exactly. So it starts getting dark at about 4 o'clock, four
Right.
4 o'clock PM, which
Yeah.
can be tough if someone's going to work early in the morning and it's dark, and then you're finishing work at 5 and coming home. It's dark. Yeah, it's not great, but
Mm.
it's just part of the way it is here, really. So yeah, it's fine.
Fair enough. Cool. Yeah, I'm lucky. I don't have to worry about changing clocks or anything like that at the moment. Haven't haven't done so for about sort of 15, 16 years. Uh, so when somebody tells me about like the changing of the clocks, I'm usually not aware of it. Although I must admit it did mess with me this year because I've got a few students from Europe, Italy, Poland, etc., and they told me about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, our lesson times have got to change now." I had no idea about it. I completely forgot, and yeah, it changed my schedule a little bit. So yeah, it's kind of inadvertently kind of messed up a few of my times that I had to change because, of course, people are still at work doing, of course, their daily tasks. They have to finish 1 hour different, and the knock on effect is, it of course happens. But yeah, one of those things. It's interesting, actually.
Yeah, no, exactly. Jordan, what have you been up to this week? I know that you've been on a trip, haven't you? You've been away somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we went to just an island that is about 25-30 minutes by ferry um, from where we are. We went to the bigger island called Cebu. Um, Many people probably know Cebu. Manila's kind of the biggest city, and then Cebu is considered to be probably the second most well known, popular area. But yeah, we took a trip over there, just just one night, couple of days, just to check it out, see what's there. Um, did a little bit of shopping and just ate some good food, and that was about it. Really, it wasn't really an extensive trip. To be fair, we just went over there just to have a change of scenery, and I've never been there, so I had never been there, and just wanted to check it out really, and yeah, it's nice. We might take a regular trip over there, maybe once every couple of months, just to get a few things that we can't get here, which is good.
So I googled it. I had a look and to see what it was like, and the beaches look incredible,
Yeah,
very tropical beaches there.
I must admit the water was just superbly clear, like because you're driving along the coast actually, and you've got the sea usually off to your right, and as you're driving you can see how clear the water is, and yeah, it's just spectacular, to be fair, and I think a lot of people would love to see it, and yeah, it is nice. I must admit, the water is beautiful.
Did you go for a dip?
No, we didn't. We planned to go to basically the center of the city. So we had to drive, must be around about 4 hours or so from the port. It was a long, long drive, and the roads were terrible, to be fair. So bumpy and lots of road works going on. Yeah, they were not in good condition.
Oh, really? So the roads were they were like tracks? Were they like bumpy track?
um, I would say it's a really weird one because I don't know why, but what they do is they do a lot of construction and maintenance on the road, but then you get some sections in between which are not completed. So you get like a smooth part, and then it's really rough, and then it's smooth again. Um, I don't know why they didn't just continue with the work and finish it all. Um, but yeah, it was quite bumpy to say the
Wow.
least.
So so you're basically driving, nice and smooth, and then you go Indiana Jones for
Yeah,
10 minutes, do you? And then you're smooth again, and then Indiana Jones again. Is that the kind of
absolutely.
idea? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely a long drive, and yeah, it's definitely a bumpy one. But I must admit, you know, the in terms of like shopping wise, like uh, you can get a few things there that you can't get here. So, um, in that respect, it's pretty good. I don't mind it actually, and I was having a look on Google as well. I think the next time that we go over there, I want to play golf. It looks like they've got some really nice golf courses, so I would like to stay. maybe a couple of days and just go and play golf once or twice. Maybe make it into like a regular sort of every couple of months family trip. I think something like that, possibly. Seen as though it's so close, should be easy to get to.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. So you sounds like you were impressed with it, and you'd love to go back then.
Yeah, I was impressed with the ferry, to be honest with you. We don't really take too many ferries in the UK unless we're going over to France. Um, so I think it's really interesting that they do so many trips every day between the islands. I didn't really know that they were so regular, to be fair. I just thought that it was just a couple of times a day, but no, they do like one every hour. It's really regular, and yeah, I think I might look into that more and have a look at some of the other islands that we can go to and enjoy there. 'Cause I think maybe that would be something fun to explore. Go to a few different islands that are not too far away, and you can take the ferry, take the car, and yeah, no problem. Shouldn't be an issue at all, really.
So are you thinking about doing a bit more exploring, kind of off the beaten track, going to some islands that are maybe not too touristy and not too visited by tourists?
I would love to, yes. I think it's hard now to say what is not touristy and not really well known. I think the age of the internet and social media, most places are pretty much discovered and well known now. But I think there are definitely some quieter places and places that a lot of tourists may not necessarily go to. And yeah, but to answer your question, definitely, I would love to go to those kind of hidden gem places. I like exploring those sort of smaller areas, of course. How about yourself? When you go abroad, do you stick to the tourist areas, or do you like to go and have a look where there might not be so many tourists?
Probably a bit of both, actually. We quite like big cities. We like visiting big cities, and we like walking around the city just to sort of, get the vibe of the city. And of course, when you walk, you see so much. Um, it's one thing to do like an open top bus tour of a big city. That's nice, but we like to walk and explore and discover different places. So that's what we've done recently as a family. But I would like to
Awesome.
do more, like you're talking about, sort of more off the beaten track
Hmm.
holidays where we go places that maybe not lots of tourists go to. So I would love to do that as well.
Awesome. That's cool. How about yourself? What have you been up to this week? Have you done anything interesting?
I haven't been up to a great deal, but
Okay.
I've had a little bit of bad luck this week. A little bit of bad luck. So I got a letter in the post a couple of days ago, and it was the kind of letter that when you look at it, you think, okay, this doesn't look like it's good news. It might be a bill, it might be something else. And I was correct. So I opened it, and I've received a parking fine, which is really, really, really annoying. So in the UK, there are so many private car parks now that
Oh yeah.
they're often very, very strict in terms of their rules. And if you park somewhere that you shouldn't, you get sent in the post, in the mail, a lovely letter saying, please pay us £100 for parking, where you shouldn't.
One
Um,
hundred pounds is the fine.
yeah, but this time actually it's it's annoying because where my son lives in London, there's like a car park to the rear of where he lives, and
Right.
there are resident spaces, and
Ah,
there are visitor spaces, and the visitor spaces have a V on them,
right. Yep.
and the resident spaces have a number. And I found a space with a V on it,
Right.
and I parked there, thinking it was fine, thinking it was a visitor space, and it turns out that it's not, and I got sent a parking fine. So quite annoyed about that
Wow.
this week.
Are
How
you
about
gonna
you? Yeah.
are you gonna contest it by any chance? Like, is there any chance that you can say to them, no, like, I definitely parked in one space that was marked visitor. Do you think you're going to try and contest it?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to contest it, and I'm going to get my son to take a photo of the space, and
Yeah.
I'm going to try and contest it. But I don't know whether my appeal will be successful or not. I don't know, because, again, with these private parking companies, they'll
Mm,
kind of do everything they can to take your money, unfortunately. So,
yeah.
there might be some, you know, exception on there. If you park between this hour and this hour, then you still have to pay. It's really
ab-
annoying.
Absolutely. Is
Have you ever received a parking fine, Jordan, in the UK or in the Philippines or in Japan where you live?
in the Philippines, you can park anywhere. There's nobody's going to give you a parking ticket. No problem there.
Sure.
Um, so in England, I have received two parking violations. Let's say one was similar to yours. I was at university and I had my parking permit. This is what really annoyed me. I had a parking permit, and we had different zones of like where you can park and where you can't. And I thought from this side, it looked like I was in the zone that my parking permit was allowed. Right, I was allowed to park in that zone, but from the other side, it was a different zone. So I didn't stupidly I didn't look, but I still thought that I was in my zone, and then yeah, I parked it and left it for a couple of days. Didn't go back to the car. So I got about two or three parking tickets on the
Oh
car,
no.
just stacked up on the window.
The traffic warden must have been having a field day with you. He must have been thinking, great, I can get this person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh no.
So that was annoying. And then another one was I parked in a hotel car park in my hometown in Eastbourne, and I just parked and thought nothing of it. I'm only going to be 20 minutes. And they went and clamped my car.
Oh no.
So I came back and I got this big clamp on my car.
So what did you have to do? Did you have to call a number, or did you have to? What did you
Yeah,
do?
yeah. Basically, you get told the directions of what you need to do. So you've got to call the number, and they will not release the clamp until you pay. You can try and wriggle out of it as much as you can, but absolutely not going to budge. And as soon as you pay it, they'll release your car and take the clamp off. But yeah, it's frustrating when that happens, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a very polite way of putting it, isn't it? A very polite way of putting it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's sort of painting a picture for people of the UK, isn't it? And parking in the UK, as you said, in many
yeah,
other countries, you can park anywhere, can't you? You can leave the car anywhere you want without worrying. But
Absolutely.
especially in the UK. That's just not possible, unfortunately.
I think my hometown now is just completely paid parking. When I was at college and when I was driving, you could go into the town centre and there were loads of free parking spaces, but no, not now. You've got to pay for every single parking area. Um, from from what I've seen, when I went back home, I couldn't find any free parking places at all. Yeah, it's. Do you think, is it a money grabbing scheme, or do you think it's good that they're charging for parking?
Well, I think that they've obviously in the UK there's always been charges for parking, but you're right. Like now the charges are everywhere, and also the price as well has gone up.
Mm,
So much over the past few years. I think you'll be shocked, Jordan, when you come back to the UK and go to park your car. You'll
yeah,
be shocked at how much you have to pay, how
I
much you
can
have to
imagine.
part with.
Yeah,
It's crazy, crazy. So it's money making, isn't it? Essentially.
absolutely. It really is. I think the private companies seem to. I don't know whether this is true, but it's just a little bit of a hunch, a feeling that I have, is that they seem to take advantage of, you know, whacking the prices up really, and not not really considering sort of how much people have to pay. It's like, okay, you know, we're just going to put the prices as high as possible, and people will pay no matter what. you know.
No, exactly. And while we're talking about driving, and here's a nice expression, one of my pet peeves.
Oh
So,
yes.
another one of my pet peeves is airports. And when you go now to pick someone up, when you go to collect someone, so you don't even park your car, really.
Mm,
You just drive into the area at the front of the airport, and
yeah.
you wait for a few minutes, and then you collect someone and drive out. Do you know how much you have to pay now in a London airport to do that?
You have to pay.
So at Stansted, yeah, I mean at
that's
Stansted
that's my
Airport,
question. You have to pay.
yeah. So at Stansted Airport, where I often have to go to collect my wife when she goes back to Poland,
right.
I think this is right. I can check it on my phone in a minute. It's £7 just to do that, just to drive in for 5 minutes and drive out again. It's £7.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
phenomenal, really. You know, just as you said, just you're picking someone up or you're dropping someone off, and it costs you that much money. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. It
Nah,
is insane. It is insane. It's one of my huge pet peeves. That is, that is pure money making on the part of the airport, isn't it? And the
absolutely.
company that run that.
We're in the wrong business. We need to, get into the business of private parking.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They absolutely fleece you for
Yeah.
everything.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Um,
We should buy a multi-story car park.
we'd be millionaires. We'd be millionaires by the end of the year.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure, nowadays, the people that need parking, I know that the prices are high, but your hands are tied really, because you can't park anywhere else. You've either you've either got that area where it's extortionate and you have to go there, or what's the other option? Just go home. You can't really sort of have another option. It's yeah, they've completely monopolized everything. It's crazy now.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you can't really tell someone, well, can you walk a mile down the road and I'll pick you up on the hard shoulder of the motorway? You can't do that. So you've got to pay the money. You got to pay the money, but it's a lot of money that they're charging, really. It really is,
Yeah, yeah, I'm shocked at how much that costs. To be fair, it's yeah, in like I said, in the Philippines, doesn't matter where you are, you can park basically. We saw, what was it we saw today? Oh yeah, just on the highway, on sort of the road to the side of the highway, just random truck parked there. You know, you just got to have to go around it because it's parked. Nobody cares. And that's on a highway. That's on a main road.
totally different, totally different. And
It is.
I bet when you had to pick the chickens up from the airport, you didn't have to pay £7, did you? Exactly that in the
No, I
Philippines.
didn't. I didn't pay anything. Yeah, I just. Oh no, I had to pay to get in to the airport, which was probably about, in pounds, 30p. There you go.
No comment. No comment from me.
Yeah, and I
Oh
heard the other
man.
day actually, you can, um, from our airport here, if you want to park it at the airport for a day, 24 hours, it costs 200 peso a day, which is roughly around £3 a day.
Wow. Again, a lot cheaper than the UK, where it's probably about 50 quid a day, £50 a day.
Yeah. And if you
Um,
think about it, right, 50 quid a day, if you're going to go on holiday and you park your car for a week, you're paying an extra 250 quid just to leave your car at the airport. It's nuts, really, when you think about it. It's so, yeah, the money's crazy. Yeah, it really is.
so anyway, that yeah, this I love how the podcast has turned into a right whinging session today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
a rant about the parking in England.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's been my week. That
Fair
fines
enough.
and moaning about parking the car. I've
And
got go
also
ahead,
as
Jordan.
well, yeah, also as well, this week I've noticed that you've done uh, you've done a lot of filming with your wife, right? You're now doing a few YouTube videos, and the shorts one that you did about the cleaning, which I particularly found funny. Um,
Did you
yeah,
relate to that? Did you relate to that, Jordan, with your when your wife asks you to do stuff?
100%, absolutely, yes, 100%. Yeah, I thought to myself, actually, I think many people would resonate with that one. To be fair,
Yeah, I think mainly men as well. I think it's the male brain, isn't it, that does
yeah,
that, that goes into those kind of thoughts when your wife asks you to do something.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, so I've twisted my wife's arm to help me film some videos, and because she's a teacher as well,
Mm,
she doesn't mind. So yeah, we've started
awesome.
doing a series on YouTube where we're both on camera and both teaching and both talking. So yeah,
That's
we'll
cool.
see how it goes. We'll see how it
Ah,
goes.
it's. I think it's good. Like you're able to, in a sense, get also a little bit more of an idea of conversation and things like that. So I love the idea of having natural conversations. I think a lot of listeners, a lot of students, that's something that is really really effective for them to improve their listening skills, and also sentence structure and vocabulary as well. I think it's really, yeah, it's really good. Does she? does she like it? Is she getting used to being on camera and that?
I mean, I think that I probably take it for granted that I'm quite relaxed now in front of the camera,
Yeah,
as are you. As are you. If you do something every day
yeah,
for 3 years or over 3 years, then you do become relaxed, and it becomes part of your day, doesn't it? Whereas
absolutely.
I don't think she's used to being in front of a camera yet. So yeah, she enjoys it, but I think she's just got to do more of them to become more relaxed, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's hard to, isn't it, to transition from like not doing it to then doing it and feeling comfortable. And I can understand. I can relate to like not feeling comfortable about doing it. I think a lot of people have those reservations about it, and yeah, it's not as easy as people may think, and it's quite hard to sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, even longer sometimes, and actually go through an idea of a video that you might have. It's quite difficult. So no, it's great that she's getting involved. I think yeah, I think they're awesome, actually, really fun.
Oh, thanks very much. It's really kind of you. I also really enjoyed your video this week where you sort of filmed the ferry and you filmed your journey, you know, your trip with your family when you were on the ferry. I thought it was very funny as well, and some beautiful sort of panoramic pans across, you know, the
Yes,
beautiful scenery as well. It looked incredible.
absolutely. I wanted to I was going to try and video the drive as well, but I didn't know if it was going to be too bumpy, and I wasn't sure if the camera would be able to capture anything nice because of the bumps in the road. So I didn't actually film anything while we were driving.
Well, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky that it's knowing how and when to film, isn't it? It can be tricky. Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah,
With
I agree.
without sort of a a team with you, shall we say? You know, you sometimes have the Hollywood movie idea, don't you, for a video, and you think, oh, it would be cool to do this or to do this, but the reality is you balancing a camera on your knee or something, and it never looks half as good as you imagine it's going to.
That's
Um,
so true. Very very true indeed. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's the idea versus reality, isn't it? At the end of the day, like how do you turn that idea into reality? It's not always easy.
Sometimes not always easy at all, exactly, and many attempts, sometimes many takes
Yeah,
to get it right.
yeah, absolutely. Cool. Do you have any interesting stories for us today?
I'm glad you asked that. I do, yeah. So
Okay,
I
good.
found quite an interesting story, which I think will lead nicely into a bit of a quiz for you. Because I remember
Mm.
a couple of weeks ago you gave me the brain rot quiz, didn't you? So
Yes.
I haven't got a brain rot quiz for you, but I've got a quiz for you of sorts. So
Awesome.
yeah, my story is about a Guinness World Record. It's quite an impressive
Mm.
one. So it's a Dutchman, a man from Holland, who has walked across America from LA to New York, and
Right.
he walked the distance in 8.5 months. But what's most impressive is he walked it barefoot, so without any shoes and any socks on. So
Wow.
he walked across road, across desert, across rocks, across broken glass. Um, so quite an incredible achievement, and he did it to raise awareness of men's mental health, which is
Wow.
which mental health is a subject very very close to my heart. So that's
Mm.
why I was sort of drawn and attracted to the story, not just for the achievement, but also for why he was doing it. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I struggle to walk downstairs and back, you know, so I think it's incredible that he managed to walk for 8.5 months barefoot.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
I can sympathise with that because, as I may have told you, is that I was just walking along the pathway in my sort of apartment complex here, and I twisted my ankle really badly off the
Oh
side of
no,
the pathway.
I
You know,
shouldn't laugh. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
so I I was barely outside of my house, let alone anywhere else.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, like, the beach that is our local beach is a stony beach,
Yes.
and I don't know what it is with the undersoles of my feet. The nerve endings are incredible because for me to walk barefoot across the rocks to get into the water, you would think that I was walking on nails. I just can't. I literally can't do it. It's so painful. I'm screaming, I'm shouting, I'm losing my balance just walking across some pebbles to get into the water. So, how he has walked across
Yeah,
desert and rock and glass, I just don't know. It's amazing.
that is incredible, and not only that, he would have done it in searing heat as well. So you imagine the temperature of like the pavement or sidewalk, as they would call it in America. Um, you know, the temperature of the surfaces would be horrible, like incredible, really.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, have you ever walked anywhere barefoot, across a great distance? Have you ever gone to the shops barefoot or because I
Mm,
personally haven't really tried it, but I'm asking because nowadays lots of people like to run in and walk in these shoes that are almost barefoot. Have you seen them where the toes are you can see your toes in them and there's hardly any sole on
yeah,
the shoe. Have you seen these? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen them, and yeah, they've become very popular now, haven't they? They've become more popular over the last few years, actually. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yes, I have walked barefoot, um, and it wasn't necessarily through choice. It was basically, um, we were in Myanmar. Uh, by the way, lovely country, amazing country, and we visited a temple, and it was up in the mountains. But to enter the temple, you had to leave your shoes, um, I believe, at the front, and or you could like take them with you. You either one, it was no problem. So I just left my shoes there, didn't think about it. And then you got to the top, and then there was actually an outside part that you could go and walk and visit, and there was just a higher sort of viewpoint. And my wife took hers like with her. She was holding them, and so she was really game to go up and whatnot. And so I've got nothing. I've got just my feet. What am I gonna do? She's like, no, no problem. It's fine. You'll be fine. Look, it's soft. The ground's soft. Yeah, it was soft for the first 5 meters, and then you like you said, you start walking on like the pebble, the stony area. I'm trying to walk on tiptoes. I'm trying to walk on my heels. Yeah, it was excruciating. I did it. I did it, and then I paid for it the next day. My feet were a mess.
I bet they might, yeah, cut to shreds probably.
They were just sore. Not luckily not like too much damage. But I mean, it was just the soreness of your skin on the ground, and I think if you're used to it, your skin hardens, and it's not an issue as much as for myself that I've never walked barefoot before that, and yeah, I felt every little grain of grass and whatnot on my foot.
Oh no, I've got another barefoot story actually, but I'm not sure whether to tell it or not because it's pretty disgusting.
Go ahead, no problem.
All right, so I was in Poland and I was with my wife, and we were in quite a big city,
Mm,
and I was wearing sandals, and they were sort of not open sandals, but they were kind of like sliders,
yeah,
if you know what sliders are. Yeah. So I was wearing these sliders and I was walking with my wife through this city, and we were on the main shopping street, and I wasn't really looking where I was walking. I was just walking happily, holding, well, my wife was my girlfriend at the time, so holding my girlfriend's hand, looking around and chatting. And I didn't notice that in front of me was a huge mound of something that had come out of a dog, if you can imagine.
wow,
Dog, what should we call it? Dog mess, dog doo
dog mess.
doo,
There we go. Yeah, dog
dog
mess is
poo.
good.
I mean, it wasn't just a small piece. It was a huge. I mean, it looked like a horse had been busy there, to be honest. And I didn't see it. And I basically toe punted it. I kicked it, and my my sandal and my foot was immediately engulfed in the
Yeah,
material that had been left. It was, and I basically had to throw the sandals away. I had to
yeah,
throw them away there and then, and I had to
absolutely.
walk barefoot up the shopping street,
Yeah.
um, find some water to clean my feet, and then go and buy some new shoes very quickly. So it was pretty disgusting. Maybe I shouldn't have told that story.
I bet that was an interesting walk to the shop, wasn't it? Like, were people
Oh,
looking at you with a little bit of a strange look on their faces to say, like, one, why are you walking barefoot, and two, what is that on your foot?
well, the worst part of it was there was actually a cafe just by where the
Yeah,
incident happened, and I reckon
yeah,
people in the cafe were probably waiting
yeah.
for that to happen. It's like in the UK when someone is walking with a open bag of fish and chips and there's a seagull
Oh yeah,
hovering, waiting to pounce and get it. It was like that, I reckon. People were waiting for someone to step in or kick the mound of dog mess. So it was me,
absolutely.
unfortunately.
Wow, that's yeah, that's funny, but yeah, not a very nice situation for yourself. I can imagine.
Let's move on. Let's move on from it. Let's move on from it.
Absolutely.
We were talking about the Guinness World Record. So I've got a Guinness World Record quiz for you if you're up for it.
I certainly am. I'm interested to know what the questions are. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, well I've only got a few, but it's four rather strange Guinness World Records for you, and
Okay,
I
cool.
want you to guess the details of the Guinness World Record. So
Right.
the first one is about Lizzie, and Lizzie is the world's tallest female dog. It's
Hmm.
a Great Dane, who are beautiful dogs.
Yes.
I love Great Danes, but they are huge, aren't they? They're massive dogs. How tall is Lizzie? Is Lizzie 96 centimeters,
Hmm.
106 centimeters, or 150 centimeters?
I'm gonna have to go with 150.
Oh wow, you've gone for the top of the scale.
Yeah.
It's not actually, it's 96 centimeters, but it's still
Oh, okay. It's still huge.
huge. It's like a,
Yeah,
a horse, isn't it, that for a dog?
absolutely. They're very beautiful dogs, though. Like I must admit, they are really, really lovely dogs. my great auntie used to have Irish wolfhounds. Yeah,
Wow.
they're massive dogs too, and yeah, I like Great Danes and Irish wolfhounds. They're huge. They're massive.
There's someone who lives near us, and he's got three Great Danes, and you can imagine him going for a walk with them. He's literally dragged down the street by those dogs. It's amazing to
Yeah.
watch.
Not only that, I wouldn't want to clean up their dog mess either, would you? You'll be taking a shopping bag.
I mean, yeah, I think going back to my story, actually, it may well have been Lizzie who left that treat on the pavement. But yeah, exactly. You would not want to find that, would you?
Absolutely awesome.
Okay, number two is a Guinness World Record about ice cream. Now
Okay.
I'm a big ice cream fan. Dimitri Panchiera has scooped his way into the Guinness World Records. How many ice cream scoops do you think he managed to balance on a single ice cream cone? Is it 32, 87, or 121?
I wasn't even thinking that high. Oh my god. What was the first one? 30?
So we've got 32,
Ah,
87, or 121.
32 to 87. That's a massive jump. Uh Pure guess, 32.
It's not. It was 131.
Jesus.
And I wonder how he stopped them from melting as well, because you can imagine number 1 to 121. It
Mm.
must have taken a bit of time, but I
Was
haven't
he
verified that.
was he holding the ice cream cone at the same time? Because I'm wondering how would he get to the
You'd
top?
need a step ladder, wouldn't you? I'm not sure. I need to maybe do some research on that one to verify that
Wow,
one.
that's
But
incredible. Yeah, if you would have asked me to guess, like just a pure guess, I probably would have said 20.
yeah,
Just
me too.
through my sort of uh crazy theory of doing it, but yeah, 132 was it?
121, it says here.
121. My
Yeah,
God, that's incredible.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I would never have thought that. So that surprised me. Yeah. Wow.
So it's
Amazing
quite
stuff.
a quite a wacky one. Here's another wacky one for. I got two more for you. So,
Perfect.
are you a fan of video games, sort of old school video games? Did you used
Yeah,
to play
yeah,
video
yeah, yeah.
games?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, have you ever played Super Mario?
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah. Sonic
definitely.
the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, definitely.
Remember?
Yep.
What about Donkey Kong? Have you ever played Donkey Kong?
Yes, I've played a little bit actually. Yeah, just a little bit of Donkey Kong.
Okay, so this Guinness World Record is a boy called Alex Tan. He completed one of those video games wearing a blindfold, so he actually couldn't see. Which video game do you think he managed to complete blindfolded?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's a good guess. Again, I would have thought that. It's Super Mario.
Ooh, interesting.
So I'm not sure again I'm not sure how he managed to do that. He must have memorized the clicks and the movements to be able to do it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was surprised by that.
yeah. I'm I'm quite surprised by that because with Sonic, uh, you could do like a lot of huge jumps to get over a lot of things, and yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool. Yeah. Wow.
Do you want
Talented.
one?
Talented.
Yeah, yeah. Should we do one more? There's one
Yeah,
more.
let's do the last one.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, the last one is the longest time that someone has balanced on one foot. so just standing, balancing on one foot.
Right.
Do you think it's 1 hour 3 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
2 hours 3 minutes, or
Mm-hmm.
3 hours 3 minutes?
Balancing on one foot. I'm gonna go with the middle option, 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Oh, again, I would have chosen that, but it's not. It was the first one, 1 hour 3 minutes, which
Ah.
I guess it doesn't sound like you think, oh yeah, one hour balancing on one foot, but I mean, you try it. Yeah, I'm sure I couldn't even do it for 2 minutes, let alone 20 minutes. So
I could
unbelievable.
I can barely balance on 2 feet. No, that's amazing. Yeah, because I suppose when you think about it, if you're balancing on one leg, the the lactic acid and the blood flow is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. I went for the middle one because I thought that 3 hours was it's far too long. But yeah, I thought the middle one might be it. But yeah, I got 0 out of 4, unfortunately.
No, but they were tricky. I mean, you couldn't rely on common sense or anything for those ones because they're so wacky, aren't they? They're so strange, those Guinness World Records. But
we should
yeah,
we should research some of the some of the weirdest um, Guinness World Records, and we can attempt to do a Guinness World Record one day.
oh wow, that's an incredible challenge. Let's go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
that'd
what
be
we'd do,
awesome.
but maybe
Cool.
maybe we can try the ice cream one.
Oh, that'll be a good one. Yeah, I'd like to do that. That sounds good. It has to. We couldn't do it in the Philippines; they would melt too quickly.
No,
Uh,
true. Oh,
absolutely.
brilliant, brilliant.
Cool.
All right.
And we've got um we've got a role play for today, right?
We have. So we've come up with an idea, haven't we, for a role play based on my parking fine
Yes.
experience. We thought we could do yeah, like a traffic warden and a driver role play and see if the driver can be polite, I suppose. Polite, passive aggressive English, maybe. We'll see.
There we go. Yeah, absolutely. And I think notoriously the parking attendants are not always the most customer service like people either, are they? Yeah, that they can give as good as they get sometimes. I've from what I've seen.
I agree. I agree. I think it's a stereotype, isn't it? But I agree that some of them do seem to, shall we say, enjoy their job a bit too much.
Yes, that's a nice, polite way of describing it. Yes.
I always give you the option, so
Yeah,
that we won't break with tradition. So you always get the choice. So who do you want to be in the role play, Jordan?
I'll be the I'll be the traffic warden.
Okay.
Yes, I'll leave the driver up to you.
All right. No problem. All right. Well, I'll let you kick things off. Let's pretend that I've just locked my car. Boop, boop.
Yes. All right. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm going to have to give you a ticket for parking there. This is strictly a no parking zone. So, unfortunately, I'm going to write you up a ticket and you're going to have to pay it within 30 days.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What do you mean no parking? Excuse me, sorry. Before you give me the fine, where does it say no parking?
Well, firstly, um, this is a double yellow. You can see the lines on the road, and also if you take a look just up the road there, Unfortunately, there is a notice, small sign that says no parking between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Well, first of all, I mean the yellow lines are covered in leaves, so I mean I didn't see them when I pulled up. And second of all, I mean I didn't see the parking sign. It's so small and it's at the end of the road, so I didn't drive down to the end of the road. Come on, you surely you can let me off here. You can give me a break, basically.
I would love to be honest, but unfortunately my hands are tied. Um, once I've started to write out the ticket, there's nothing I can do, because what happens is, once the ticket is sort of marked, my supervisor will check, and if I have not issued the ticket, they're going to need a really, really good explanation, and unfortunately, leaves and your inability to check the sign is unfortunately not my fault. So
But look,
yeah,
come on,
you're
come
gonna
on.
have
I
to
mean,
pay.
come on, look. I mean, I'm literally just popping into the supermarket just to get some milk. I'm only going to be a couple of minutes at most. I'm not blocking anyone. It's a free piece of road here. Come on, surely you can give me a break, please.
The I again, it's unfortunately I have to follow the rules, because if I do it for you, then somebody else might come along and they want me to do it for them. It'll be a never ending cycle. So, yeah, I do apologize, but this is going to be a £25 fine that you'll have to pay within the next 30 days.
All right, well, I'll accept that. 25 quid isn't as much as I thought, to be honest with you. So, all right, I'll accept that. But I do want to make a point that your parking signs should be bigger. There should be more of them displayed on the road, to make it fair for drivers.
Yeah, I'll note that down, and that's a fair point to make. But also, as well, I think for your own safety, before parking anywhere, have a look around, check out. As you said, are there any double yellows there? Um, I just implore you to check first, because these days there are lots of areas where people think they can park, but they actually can't. So, yeah, just be vigilant and check so that you don't receive any more fines.
All right, fair enough. Thanks for the advice. I'll take it on board. Cheers.
All right. I couldn't hold it together when
No, no,
when
I will.
when
Go on.
when I said your inability to check the sign. Like,
Mm.
I was trying to be that sort of um, arrogant traffic warden that just won't comply, and yeah, I laughed halfway through. I couldn't keep a straight face.
Oh, you were loving it. You were loving playing that role. I could tell. I wasn't sure if I should try and bribe you or not. Say, oh, can I get you something from the supermarket? What kind of sandwich do you like? What? But in
Yeah,
reality, that would not work. But
no, not at all.
it shows that you haven't lived in the UK though for a long time, because literally 25 quid for a parking fine is nothing. I've got away lightly with that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, I think that's the saving grace, was that I gave you only a small parking fine at the end of it.
yeah, no, exactly. I,
Yeah,
I, I really enjoyed that one,
that was
Jordan.
awesome.
Should
Actually,
we?
one
Yeah.
before we do the takeaway part, one thing that we can mention, actually, not only do we get parking fines in the UK, but also I think the UK is another country that is, or one of the most heavily cameraed like countries, like for example the speed cameras, right?
Yeah.
There are so many speed cameras around, and you can get a fine through the post through those as well. Yeah, I think my some of my friends and family members have received notices from speeding fines because of the cameras.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of whinging at the beginning of the episode, but yeah, speed cameras is another huge pet peeve of mine, I must
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you got to watch out for parking and the speed cameras as well. There's loads of cameras littered all over the UK, unfortunately.
yeah, exactly. So basically, don't park anywhere and don't drive anywhere. That's the
Yeah,
advice.
yeah, it seems like it actually.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do the five takeaway points, of course.
Yeah, perfect. So one of my favourite parts of the pod, actually. So English to take away, 5 bits of language from the podcast. Do you want me to start? Shall I kick off?
Yeah, please. As tradition goes, you do the kicking off of this part. So go ahead.
All right, cool. So I was going to say, basically, we had a nice one with by, so by ferry. So
Mm,
you said we went to, and you said the name of the place you
Island.
went.
Cebu. Cebu.
Cebu, that was it. Sorry. So you said we went to Cebu by ferry. So that's
Mhm.
quite interesting because um, we use by with most modes of transport, don't we? By bus, by ferry, by car, by train. But how about when we walk? What do we say when we walk? So it's on
Mm,
foot.
on foot. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't ever use by foot. Most most commonly is on foot. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, very confusing in that case because you've got by for the majority and then it changes for one other one, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one to point out actually. Indeed. Um, I loved the one when you were asking me about the parking fines that I received, and you said the parking no the traffic warden uh, must have been having a field day with you. I love that idiom. How would you explain someone having a field day?
Oh, it's a good one. Probably someone that exploits a situation, sort of
Mm,
makes the most of a situation
yeah,
for their own gain often.
yeah. I like that. I like that explanation. That's brilliant. Yeah, they they want to essentially benefit from that situation. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah, great expression to use in that particular scenario. It's yeah, awesome indeed.
Okay, cool. The next one I had was something you said about clothes, a word for clothes, a very informal, I guess British English word,
Yeah,
clobber.
clover.
Clobber,
Yeah.
nice clobber. I haven't heard that for quite a few years, but it's a great word, isn't it?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, we often use it in sort of situation of oh yeah, I went and got some new clobber the other day, or oh, have you got new clobber on today? Like it's yeah, it's a very informal word to use, but yeah, that's awesome. That's a good one as
I
well.
love that. I love that.
And this one I haven't heard for a while, but it's brilliant. Is when you were talking about again the ranting about the parking, is they fleece you. Um, Now this is a really interesting word for us to use because many people might know the material of fleece, as in like you're wearing a fleece jumper, like a warm jumper. But using it as a verb to fleece someone means, again, similar to having a field day. It means they're charging you a lot of money, or they're expecting you to pay higher prices than normal, perhaps. Do you have any other ideas of how to explain to fleece?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think, yeah, if someone overcharges you, they
Overcharge.
fleece you, don't they? Yeah.
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 Similar in a way to um, when we would say, I've forgotten it now. What was it? Uh, what's the word that we often use? Like if taxis.
To
Um,
rip off.
there we go. Yeah. Okay, I'll go back and do that one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's similar to the phrasal verb to rip off. When you charge too much for something. Yeah, that's a really good one. But fleece, I haven't heard it for a while. I love it. It's brilliant.
Nice. And the last one is another thing that you said. So when you were talking about your feet,
Mm.
and you were saying that when you were walking in the mountains and with no shoes on and socks on, the next day you said, "Ah, I really paid for it."
Yeah.
The next day. So obviously the literal meaning, someone might think pay, money. What did he
Mm.
pay for? But of course, to pay for something means you suffer because of
Yeah.
something. For example, if I have too many beers in the evening, I pay for it the
Hmm.
next day. So I get a hangover and I feel ill. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a really nice natural expression as well.
It's a nice expression because it can be quite confusing that people think that, as you said, to actually pay for something like with money. But no, it means to suffer pain or feeling rough. It's a good one indeed. So yeah, that's awesome. Some
Great.
really natural phrases that we had today, actually. Really, really good indeed, of course.
Yeah,
So uh,
brilliant as
love the
always.
phrases. Yes.
Great.
And as usual, if anybody has any, of course, role play ideas that you would like to send us, or if you would like to send us any interesting articles for us to cover, or any questions for that matter, don't forget to email us. The email address is English to take away pod@gmail.com, and we'll look forward to reading them and, of course, putting them into the podcast whenever we can. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Sounds good.
Yeah, me too. Amazing. Well, another fantastic episode, Jordan. Thanks so much
Indeed.
for staying up to record it. And
Yes. No
yeah,
worries.
we'll,
I'm
we'll
off to bed now.
yeah, definitely get yourself to bed, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Will do. Take care. Bye
Cheers,
bye.
Jordan. Bye bye.